Okay, I am here with Lisa Moore, who is a comedy writer and performer, but also a serious writer and a serious performer. And she just happens to be my program leader and tutor for my entire university degree in comedy writing and performance. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Great to see you, Lizzie.
You're over in England. How is it over there?
It's really beautiful, actually. It's a real spring-like day, really sunny. The sun's just gone in. It's gorgeous and quite warm.
Well, it's good to have you here. I'm so pleased to have you on Lockdown with Lizzie, the show that's not a show. Do you like my t-shirt?
Who is that?
That's the
Should I know?
The Tiger King.
The Tiger King.
Yeah, from that terrible documentary. And I apologize for wearing this because I bought it yesterday for a $5 steal, but I think this is the only day I'm going to wear it.
I recognize him, actually.
I think
he just looks like some geezer.
He tried to kill someone, so I don't know why I'm wearing it on my chest, but there we go. So we're going to have a really quick interview, like 10 minutes. And I want you to just quickly tell us a little bit about your writing and performing. I know I'm just putting that straight on you, but you've been really prolific on the scene over in Manchester. Give us a bit of background.
Oh, prolific have I? Well, I'm a lecturer at University of Salford in comedy writing and performance, and do my own stuff as well, which is mainly creation of characters and improvising of those characters, so they have their lives and they have updated lives on YouTube and Instagram. So there's an array of characters. There's Pamela, who's very typically English and very upper class. There's Elaine, who is a sidekick, and she's very much into reading tarots and angels. And there's a rather racist lady called Rini. She doesn't realize she is, but she really is. So I have those characters, and then I do my own writing as well. And, I have a bit of development going on too. So it's all good.
Development with the BBC?
No, I can't say too much, but I have a few irons in the fire, shall we say. Is that something that Canadians will recognise, irons in the fire? A few things kind of bubbling away, and pitches, and it's all about hustling your ideas, hustling your stories.
Yeah, it's all about
and I'm hustling.
It's all about grind. I hear you. So we put all your stuff in the chat box for people to just check out. Please follow on Instagram, check out her videos on YouTube. We love the support here. Thank you. And also, you are my program leader, and you really helped me a lot during my course. At the end, I just want to thank you for giving me my career, because I was really, whenever I tell anyone how Hilarapy began, and it always starts with, this project I did at university at the end, which was, can I use comedy as a therapeutic tool to shine a light on my own self-stigma and shame? I mean, it was something like that. That's how I kind of paint it. But I make it sound like I came up with that idea all on my own. But the truth was, I was having a breakdown, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And it was like 2 weeks before the performance. It felt like that must have been about where I was at. And I said, well, I'm kind of writing about my breakdown at university, a breakdown at back in the day when I went to psychiatric ward and stuff, and you were kind of going, okay, so what's your research question? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember those conversations quite clearly, actually, because you did have many good ideas, and you did come up with the original idea, but we just got stuck a bit in that idea and didn't really progress forward quite as much as we would have liked to. But that was because of where you were at. But it was just kind of me, a question of me doing my job and tapping into finding out what it is that you really needed, and where you needed to be nudged and why you needed to be nudged. And I mean, the seed of the idea was there, and in all honesty, you were regarded as a a very very interesting and intelligent young woman. So you were already doing great things. You make it sound a bit like, you know, you were like lagging on behind, but you actually weren't. You were just having a tough time, and you came up with this idea, and then eventually it got going, but it didn't really get going right until the performance date.
I know, it was
Right
awful.
up until the performance date. And I remember sitting in the audience thinking, I don't quite know what's going to happen. I've got an idea, and it was fabulous. So I remember thinking, she's on her way, and you were, and here you are.
Oh, thank you.
So it was a great pleasure supervising your project. It really was.
Well, it was an emotional time. It was an emotional time for me. I was having a horrible, horrendous breakup with a heartache of stone. And I spent many hours alone in my flat, just staring at a blank piece of paper going, what am I going to do? You know how these things come together. I learned a lot, though. I learned a lot about that, you know, the process, creative process. And that's really, I mean, you must know this, but, you know, I look back, whenever I create anything, I look back and I couldn't tell you how I got, how it ever got to be, you know, because I don't know, do you have that experience where every single time you create, it comes around a bit different, or are you quite methodical?
Well, it depends what I'm doing. If I'm creating characters, for instance, and I'm going to be shooting something, then I'll just give myself a bit of a theme. Like one of the characters not long ago, it was like lockdown, the tier system had just come in. So I thought, oh, Elaine's got something to say about the tier system. So let's go with that. So then I'll just stick my camera on and, you know, go out with the dogs or whatever and shoot the scene, and it'll just roll, and I won't remember what I've really said or done. I'll just play it back, and then I'm a bit daring in that I'll just put it out there, even if I don't think it's that brilliant. I'll just think, well, I'll just put it out there and see what happens, and it changes each time. But most of the time, I can't remember what I've done. I mean, I think that's quite a good sign, because you should be somewhat absorbed in it, so you're not kind of aware watching yourself doing it, if you get what I mean. But that's the way it is with comedy.
Two things. One, your character Elaine, my partner Elaine is she does spirit releasement therapy, so she's a bit woo woo. Your character,
Yeah, like Elaine,
so
like my Elaine.
I'm excited about that. And the second thing you were talking about, which has probably just escaped my mind, was this daring thing where you kind of just go, oh, whatever, you know, that is vital when it comes to creativity. Just putting it out there, letting go of outcomes. I mean, you know, because I for a long time I hung my self-worth on what I got back from what I put out.
Oh gosh.
How are you doing with that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I've got to this ripe old age where I just think, enough of all that. Enough of waiting for people to rat tat tat on your door. Enough of people saying, yes, we think you're talented. Enough of all that. It's easier, and it's much more productive and better for the soul. Just do the stuff and then wing it out there. And what is the worst that will happen? The worst that will happen is somebody goes, I'm not really sure I like that. Well, fine. Because for each person that does that, you might get 5 that do. And it's, you know, it's making people laugh. It's giving people a little bit of it. I was more inspired during lockdown because to keep myself amused as much as anything. And to just see where these characters go, and then get the information back, you know, get the responses back from other people. And then you even get suggestions, like somebody said, Pamela, who finished a scene just saying, I think she said something like, oh, I do miss the hunt, you know. So just stuck that in there, that she was actually a member of, you know, the fox hunting brigade. So then that got people annoyed, and then they suggested things like she might have a hip flask. Well, she's got one now. So it's that kind of thing, that, you know, those suggestions. So your audience is great, and yeah, you've just got to do it, because you will spend a lot of time deliberating over the perfection of something and never do anything. So you just got to put it out there and make mistakes.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, creativity is such a kind of open and broad experience. I mean, everything we do is creative. Every single thing. We're sort of here for expansion. And when we start to kind of put all these blocks and things in front and in, you know, it must turn out like this and cookie cutter type stuff, then it does really, I find, just blocks up the, you know, the whole path. But magic can come about when you just let things freely roll out, and that collaboration that comes from, you know, from the people around us as well. So
absolutely.
I was actually on a walk last night. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I watched too many of those serial killer things a couple of weeks ago. And I just got.
Is that why you're wearing one now?
Yeah,
you're wearing a killer.
Yeah, it's just like unconsciously, I'm just, yeah. And so my friend texted me yesterday. I mean, everyone knows who's in my circle knows that I got really unwell from that. You know, like, psychologically just kept having flashbacks and murder scenes and stuff. And then last night I went for a walk with a dear friend, and before she texted me, she went, "I'm going to watch Night Stalker." And I was like, "Don't, let's go for a walk." And then we just came up with this whole idea that we would be the comedy killers. And we just went through this whole kind of thing that we, you know, I had come over here and befriended, you know, the whole community, but really I was an escaped sort of sociopath. And then I got this, you know, bored housewife to go on a killing spree with me. But actually then today it developed into a new idea while I was at boxing, where actually we were just stealing people and putting them in, sort of having a captive audience for our comedy shows. You know, they would have, you know, that
making them, sort of literally making them laugh.
Yeah, making them laugh, but also making them come and be in an audience. So they were all trapped there just as our audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these ideas.
Comedy hostages.
Comedy hostages, that's correct. Yeah. It won't go anywhere, but we do have fun for, you know, 45 minutes. We'll just build this whole world and
brilliant.
And some of the stuff we do gets made, you know, some of the stuff we end up, you know, going off and making it. So, you know, the future's big. For every 20 ideas I come up with, one of them gets written down and, you know, sometimes comes to fruition.
Good. That's all you need. You've just got to keep doing it. We've all just got to keep doing it.
Look at me, I'm treating you still like you're my tutor. So tell me, how do I move on from here? Okay, so we've got I don't even know, but no, I didn't even set the timer. That's great. Well, we should wrap this up now, if that's right with you. And I just used up the last couple of minutes just talking about myself. But what can you share as, you know, a program or, you know, a past program leader, but current comedy writing performance tutor? What can you share, top tip about enjoying your creative life?
Well, I don't want to, it sounds all a bit Nike, but just get on with it and do it. Don't deliberate too much about whether it's good enough, whether it's strong enough, just just keep creating stuff. I wish so much that had been given this advice many years ago, and I would have produced a lot more stuff, because it is such good fun producing your own stuff. There's just nothing like it. It's ace. Just get on with it and do it.
Lisa Moore, everyone, and catch up with her. Comedy Brilliance Online. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.